What's going on out there, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Caveman Mods. Today we're gonna put a video out on the Chevelle. Be honest with you, I ain't putting no content out here for a few weeks on this car. Been a little bit busy on it. Been busy doing some work on my truck out here, and guys, we're gonna get to some of that content on these big trucks. You know, I gotta quit slacking off, and we're gonna get to working on those too. It's a little stuffy in here, man. I currently got this fan turned off just so y'all can hear me well. And of course, as soon as I got that turned off, my water purification system over here started flushing itself out, and now I got to deal with that. And it's starting to get late, and I don't really want to be out here all night waiting to make this video, so we're just going to go ahead and deal with the circumstances and get moving forward on this. So guys, on this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the things that I've done to this car so far, where we're at with what I'm getting ready to do next. So we've actually took the trunk out of this car already, and I'll get to that here in a second. But yeah, the trunk's out. Got the trunk lid off right at the moment. Found some rot in the trunk. Didn't want to deal with it. We were going to mount the fuel cell, and we'll get to that in just a second, guys. So if you would do me a favor, like, subscribe, comment, share, and without further ado, we're going to get into this. Also, there's one other thing that I think I should probably show you, but I'm actually going to hold off. We're going to make another video on that. So, but I'll get you caught up to date on some of the stuff here where we're at. So, I got all the EFI. We'll get to the trunk in a minute. I got the throttle body all hooked up. For the most part, I got just about all the wiring done up here for the fuel injection system. I actually had all the wire loom brought over this way, but I actually took some of it back because I actually changed the way I had some of the wiring done. I got to add one more sensor onto this, and I'm still going to figure out what I'm going to do for the air cleaner. Got some new Taylor wires. Yeah, most of them are still in good shape, but I actually cut one, and I'll show you that here. Like a big idiot, I was actually trimming something over here, and yeah, I cut it. So need to replace that coil wire anyways. It's not the same. I wanted it all to look uniform. So this wire that goes over here to the coil, it didn't match, and for some reason, like I told y'all before, they have this fire wire from Fast Performance, and it's a smaller wire anyways, so it's not going to do quite as good, and it doesn't match in color. So anyways, got all the fuel lines ran, got all the fittings done. Guys, these are all Earl's fittings. This hose is oh, where did it come from? I mean, I got it all from Wire Care, except for this little section of hose right here. This I did get from Holley. This one right here. Hold on one second, guys. I had to get my mic flipped around so y'all can hear me much better. So yeah, got this section of hose right here from Holley. Of course, it had different fittings on it. Actually, it had longer fittings, and I'll show you the ones that come on it here. I gotta stick to one thing, guys. I'm not the best at making these videos. We're gonna get to it though. I'm sure gonna try to keep it up. So these fittings right here are what originally come on it, and they didn't fit. They were for their Dominator, and me being a dummy I am, well, I ordered that hose from the Holley website, and turns out that it was actually for a Dominator carburetor, not the 4500 Dominator style throttle body. And that's technically what this is a throttle body. Since it's fuel injection, it has 4 8 100-pound fuel injectors. You have to get this sensor right here. This is the idle air temp sensor for your air intake temp. And this is just sitting on here, guys, in case you're wondering why it's wobbling. I don't have it screwed in. And there's one other plug right down here, and this is for an external map sensor whenever I go to run boost on this engine. Not sure if I showed you guys all the wiring, everything. I rewired this whole car. Actually, I think I did show you. So I got new connectors down here. We got the new MSD box in. All this is all wired up. Just cleaning up a lot more of this wiring. I got all the fuel lines ran. This is 8 AN. If I ain't mistaken, or I think it's 10 AN actually, and this is 8 AN. That's what this is. This is 10, this is 8, and this is 8 up here, all on the throttle body. So it runs 8 out of this side, 10 is the feed, 8's the return, and 8 feeds this. Don't ask me why I ran it that way. That's just how I ended up doing it, and I think it'll be fine. If not, then I'll figure out a way to upgrade this section here. I think I'll be good to leave this at an 8 because, well, this is going to consume most of the fuel that's fed up this way, or a portion of the fuel fed up this way. So if I'm wrong on that, guys, please let me know. Another thing that we're going to try to do here is I'm going to change the headers on this eventually. I want to get this to have some AN lines on these valve covers welded in place, and then I'm going to try to put catch cans on this to where I don't have to have these hoses right here running back into my manifolds. I don't think that's going to be too good for this fuel injection system, and I may be wrong about that also, but this is my first time really messing with fuel injection, so I'm not 100% sure. So from there, that's where we're at up here under the hood. Got everything done up here. All the wiring's done. Actually, like I said, the reason why I got all this loom stripped back is because I'm going through and deleting a lot of the wires that I didn't need that was coming over this way, and cleaning up the wiring harness that's going up here to the lights. That's why it's all zip tied up to the fender right at the moment. So I'm gonna have wire loom on that. I made this little bracket over here for my fans, and what I'm gonna do is I got this one relay somewhat wired up. I'm not fully finished yet, but this was just some angle aluminum, and what I did was just drilled it out to where I can use this hood pin right here to mount it, and then I use this little bolt hole there to mount it. I mean, it was nothing spectacular, but right here is a 300 amp circuit breaker. It's not a fuse, it's a circuit breaker. So you press that button and it breaks the circuit to where you have no cooling. The way I'm going to wire this up, this yellow wire right here coming from over there, this is the one actually, yeah, this is the one coming out of the harness, because the other yellow wire is that one that goes over to my tack. This wire right here, if I'm not mistaken, is what feeds the fans. So I got to feed that, run that to the relay. And for right now, I currently only have one fan, so I got one relay. I am going to add a secondary fan. I don't know if I'm going to keep this brand of fan. I don't even know who makes this particular fan, but we're going to change that eventually. Right now, we're going to see if it's doing its job, but I'm not 100% sure. We got a new coolant sensor in, and eventually I'm going to upgrade this to a electric water pump. And the reason I got this set up the way it is because I want it to, this circuit breaker here is going to run both the fans and the water pump all at the same time, so all my coolant is going to be ran right off of this. So if I have a problem with one of these and it blows the circuit, I will immediately know. So all of it is going to stop working at once, which is probably not the smartest thing, but yeah, I may rethink that. Anyways, so that's where we're at on this, at least up here. Trying to, well, I ain't gonna be leaning against that. Let me get this cleaned up, guys. My garage is a mess. I've been doing a lot of work on some stuff. You know, I got all this stuff over here, and I'll get to why I got all this metal sitting here. I got a new press, and of course this is when we got back from Holley LS Fest. These right here are actually here. I'll go ahead and show you. Got me a new helmet also, but these right here are the racing harnesses, or 5-point harnesses, 4 sets. Yeah, I didn't get the quick cam release because, you know, I'm not made of money, guys, and this is going to be the first race car I build. So and I may not even put these in this car. Actually, I may just buy another car and turn it into a drag car, but right now I'm anticipating putting them in this. Then I got me some Holley LS banners. They didn't mind me taking some. I didn't take a whole heck of a lot. So so yeah, we got new wires, got new harnesses. I haven't ordered a roll cage yet, but I'm contemplating that. I got the battery out over there because it was in the trunk, and I'm probably going to end up running with a different battery, but for right now I had that one. And so why I actually got the trunk tore out is I am to the point now where everything is hooked up on the fuel injection system. All the wire is ran, all the fuel line, everything is ran, and we're gonna get back here to this major mess back here. And guys, like I said, I'm entirely sorry. I've been cutting and grinding on all this stuff back here, and there's metal everywhere. I mean, I should probably get a light turned on, so I may have to get over there. So yeah, let me get on that side and I'll show you what it looks like under here. Alright guys, back over here and got the light plugged in. So like I said, I have all the fuel line ran, which it's down here right now over top the axle, right there. Shouldn't have it sitting down there. But, so where I'm currently at is, I had all this cut out. I knew the floor was rotten, especially they had that tin sitting in the back. And what I wanted to do, hold on. So what I wanted to do was mount the fuel cell right in here. You can see why these supports are cut, and of course that does make them much weaker. But yeah, these supports are cut right here because I had the fuel cell originally sitting down in here, and I drilled that out, had the bolts coming up through the floor. And as I mounted it, I just noticed that every time I would go to tighten, it was just collapsing the top section of the floor. And I had the fuel cell coming up through the bottom where the feet were just sitting up here on the bottom of this. And I actually had these couple right here, boom. These pieces of aluminum that I got cut here, well, they went up and fit right up here under the tank for extra support, right here and right there. But that bend, I mean, it just went around perfectly, and it was really nice the way I had it in there. But I was losing all the structural integrity from the top of it every time I would try to tighten it down. And so what I was realizing is that floor was way more rotten than I thought, and all I had holding it from the top was basically that tin. So I went ahead and proceeded to pull the fuel tank back out and pulled the tin out. And once I got to the point, I knew for 100% sure that I was taking this floor out. And I'm kind of the mindset now that I've got it this far down, I might as well finish up going up to the front and taking the floor pans out. But before I go to that point, I'm going to continue assessing the damage that I have back here. It's not too terribly bad. I mean, it's something that can most definitely be fixed. I've got this side fixed up where it's nearly ready to accept the new floor. I mean, I've got to go through and clean all this up, but my wheel tubs, they're shot. You know, that one's rotten right there, and there's no putting the floor back to that. So I quit right there while I was ahead. I got all my new wiring. All my new wiring is run right there for the battery. I got it up and out of the way right at the moment, but I'm gonna go back over here, and of course you guys can see that wheel tub over there is most definitely shot, and that trunk floor pan extension is what that piece right there is called. That's rotten. Now, granted, I was gonna buy that piece, and I'm actually gonna probably end up fabbing new wheel tubs. Sorry about all the camera movement. So I made this piece right here, not done with it. And you guys that wonder, you know, what I use to bend all these pieces, you just use that little brake, or that little small brake right there. I mean, it's nothing spectacular, but it gets the job done. You know, I'm doing small projects, I don't need a massive brake. So if I do need to get one, there's actually one sitting at the Harbor Freight down there that I did put on order and was going to pick up, but I didn't get, and they keep calling me, telling me to come pick it up. So one of these days I may get to that, but right at the moment I'm not concerned about it. That one's seeming to do everything I need it to do. Oh, hold on a second, I got another random piece of metal down here I'm stepping on. So I need to remake this just a little bit. Actually, the piece right here where my hand is at, right down here, I should have probably brought it back another 2 inches, about right here. But the way I do things, man, is I just like to fit and then try to go again, and you know, just work at it little by little, and we'll just whittle it down until it fits, kind of like that. But you can see that for the most part, that's where it's supposed to go. It's gonna butt right into that piece. It's gonna fit up nice. I still got to trim that bottom section off, but once I get it in there and clamp down, it'll fit right. And I think I'm gonna do custom wheel tubs in here. I'm definitely gonna do a mini tub, but I don't think I want to go with the aftermarket fenders. I think I'm just gonna go with trailer fenders and make it work. I'm gonna buy the original floor pan. It's like 500 bucks almost. That comes with these new supports. And instead of setting the pan or the fuel pump, or the, good lord, instead of setting the tank in the floor, or the fuel cell through the floor, I'm gonna set it on top of it at this point, because it'll have a new pan in it. and I'm just going to run my bulkhead connectors through so I can go straight from the tank through the floor with just simply the fuel lines, and then I won't have to worry about any of the lines going through, or I won't have to worry about any of the lines really. I won't have to cut such a big hole in the floor, and I don't want to do that to a new trunk pan. I really don't want to drill holes in it either, but what other choice do I have at this point? I've already spent this money and gone this far, so I'm not going to start backpedaling. Told you guys before that this car has been built and it's all brand new, and I'm not kidding you when I tell you that. So these tires are brand new. Oh, well, I don't even have a tire on. These tires are brand new. I don't know how good you guys can see those tires, but I mean, they're brand spanking new. That rear end, it's all fresh paint, fresh brake lines. That pumpkin housing it's all trick flow gear set. It's all brand new. All the 4-link is new, shocks are new, springs are new. I mean, this entire car is brand new. Obviously the shell of the car is not brand new. It's 1970, but all the major components of this car that's going to make it what it's going to be is brand new. I knew that upon buying this car. That's why I bought it. I got one heck of a deal for it. I mean, aluminum radiator. I guarantee you there's almost 20 grand under the hood of this car right here, and I got a steal for it. So don't know if I told you guys what I ended up paying for this car, and maybe later on I will. After it's all said and done, I'll give you a breakdown as to what I got in it, and I might hurt some people's feelings, but you know, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, and I don't lie about anything. So I'm going to get over here. I think I showed you guys my fuel pump. I know I haven't showed you the fuel cell, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to mount the fuel pump. Originally, I had gotten a ton of these. I got tons of fittings, guys. These are all AN fittings. This bag's full of them. I think there's 12 in this bag, and these are all dash 10s. Just straight fittings, and then these are 8 to 6s and 8 to 10s, or 10 to 8s, whatever. These are unions, 45s, 30s. These are 8s, straight 8s. I mean, dude, I've got tons of fittings. There's more. 12 to the O-ring fittings. I mean, guys, there's tons of AN fittings up here, and this is to the fuel pump also. But so this is the way I'm going to mount this, and I'm going to do it just like this because, I mean, I don't have to make extra line, and this is going to simplify things. I'm going to run a line straight to this side on the end, and it's going to go out on that side. It's going to go straight over top of that axle. And what I'm going to do is when I mount this fuel cell, I'm going to come in here on the bottom of this. I'm going to run another piece of this angle and box that side of the frame in. It's going to have a box, and then I'm going to come this way with that angle and a couple pieces of bracket to mount the pump and the fuel pumps to, or the fuel filters to. So the fuel line's going to go through the floor here, loop around, and it's going to go in that way, out that way, up and over the axle, and it's all going to be right there on that one side. So we're going to try to keep as much weight on that side of the car to offset the weight of me being on this side of the car. So of course the battery's going to go there, everything like that. While I got, hold on, all this back and forth with the camera with me in front of it and behind it, and I got to keep stopping to swap which way my mic is setting, guys. That way you can hear me clearly. So I'm going to continue ripping all the rest of this floor out, and we're going to go up over to the back seat. And also, while I got the back seat, while that's all taken apart, if you can't see, somebody had cut this all right here on both sides behind this back seat, which takes out some of the structural integrity of the car, which kind of sucks. But as I got this out, I'm going to actually go ahead and block that all off and plate it, and along with this rear dash back here, I'm going to do the same thing. Because if I have a fuel cell back here and something, God forbid, ever happens and there's some sort of fire, my kid's going to be sitting in that back seat right there. I don't want her life to be jeopardized because of my stupidity or my ignorance. There's fuel in here. It's flammable, highly flammable. If something happens and it explodes, yeah, she's dead, man. That's not a cool thing. You guys, if you're doing something like this and you do decide to put a fuel cell in your trunk, please be sure to block that off. It's just simply safety, and it makes sense, guys. So just so you're aware, especially if it's a car that you're going to have your children in. So just be careful, guys, when you're doing something like this. While we have this all apart, like I said, I'm going to box this frame all the way back to the rear end. I'm even gonna box this cross member back here. I mean, I'm gonna stiff this chassis up as much as I possibly can. And even when it comes to back here, I'm gonna 45 each and every corner. I'm gonna come in here, these cross members, I'm gonna cut out these shock towers, everything. I'm gonna redo all this. And I'm gonna strengthen every bit of this up. It may not end up being the prettiest frame when it's all said and done, but it's gonna be functional. It's gonna do absolutely everything that it's supposed to do. The interior's a mess. I've been doing wiring and a bunch of stuff in here. You know, I'm gonna try to actually set this light under the car. I'm gonna set this light under the car, and maybe. Well, did I show you guys my fuel cell? Hold on. So this is my fuel cell. I've got a 15-gallon fuel cell. It's nothing spectacular. It's an eBay special, and hopefully it'll work for a while. Hopefully it'll work for a good while. But I mean, it's aluminum, so it should not corrode for quite some time. But that's what we're gonna end up using for quite a while. Maybe I'll just plug this light in here. Hold on one second, guys. All right, guys. So what I'm trying to get at here is I'm gonna show you some of what we're gonna do under the car, and I'm gonna show you some of the floor pans as to why we're gonna probably tear these floors out of here and try to get that fixed up. So hopefully you guys can see. It's not the best lighting under there. I do have a light currently under there, but I don't know how good you're going to be able to see. So if you guys can't see that well, please bear with me and tell me to put it on a different video. I will gladly do so. I don't know how good that audio was either, because I was behind the car, and I got a bit of a mess down here because, well, I had the front of the car jacked up for the longest, and the rear was on the ground, and yeah, we started leaking some fluid out of the tail shaft of the transmission there, so not a good thing. You guys can see that exhaust is brand new. We do have cutouts. Yay, fun stuff. So this frame is not boxed in any way, shape, or form. This is what it looks like here. It's been high centered here. Not a good thing. I got my fuel lines run up that side of the frame. Ooh, sorry guys, trying to get under here with a cowboy hat doesn't work too well. Yeah, I got my fuel lines all run up that side of the frame there, and then I got my power wire run on the inside of the car. There is some cobwebs in here, but yeah, we're gonna knock all those out eventually. Yeah, so I got all this down here to try to clean up the mess, and all the mess back here on the floor back here will be cleaned up once I get done pulling the rest of that trunk out. You know, I'm not gonna clean up a mess just to make a mess. Doesn't make no sense. But then yeah, that's probably poor shop maintenance, and somebody should yell at me for that. So anyways, I'm gonna get this whole frame up here boxed in, every bit of this. It's not the worst, but yeah, it's, these A-body cars are known for weak chassis. So anyways, you see this shoddy work here. Don't pay no attention to this line. I actually tucked this up in place. This is for the transmission, and it's like 10 miles long. There's more of that tin right here. They just laid it on the floor. There's a whole chunk of that pan was cut out. That's all rot right here. It's all rot. And I think it would be wise for me to take that out. I don't think it's smart for me to leave in there. So probably what I'm gonna end up doing, guys. I don't believe it's something I'm gonna leave. And the rest of the floor from down here doesn't look to be too terribly bad. But if I'm gonna box this frame, the best way I'm gonna be able to, I'm gonna get up off the floor. I'm sweating my butt off. Yeah, so the easiest way for me to box that frame is to pull that floor out, and seats and everything like that. And then if I go that route, and I might as well put a roll cage in it. So my wife doesn't want me to put a roll cage in it before our wedding, because, hold on, I had to flip the dang mic around again. So my wife doesn't want me to put a roll cage in this, but I figure if I'm going that far and I'm pulling this floor out, I might as well put a roll cage in it. I want to keep the interior in this car. I don't really want to tear the dash up in the car. Kind of conflicted as to what I should do with this. So if I want it to be a pretty fast car. Not 100% sure at the moment if I'm even going to drag race this car. I mean, it might. I'm pretty sure I'm anticipating drag racing it. I think that's where I'm going with this. But if I can find something reasonably priced where I don't have to go that route and put a cage in this, something that I can build for a reasonable price and drag race that instead of tearing this up, I would much rather do that. It's a nice car, and honestly, like I told you guys before, my dad and I were going to work on this car, and he helped me tinker with it a little bit. We didn't do a lot with it, but he was really proud of me for getting this car, and I think it would be a lot wiser for me not to tear it up. I mean, I want to make a nice fast car, maybe like a little street strip car, but I don't necessarily want to make like a full-blown drag car. I don't think it would be smart. I want to make something that I can cruise daily if I needed to. I'm not planning on ever doing that, but if I needed to or wanted to, I could. And eventually we're probably going to put an LS in this, but for the time being, we're going to stick with this 496. I believe it's a 496. Keep calling it a 496, and that's simply because of the parts that are in this car. It only makes sense to me that somebody would have built that engine to its full potential. It's a 454 block, and if it's not a 496, whoever built it is an idiot. I mean, it should be. I would have, if that's what I would have done, and a lot of this car is actually done the way I would have done it. So yeah, I think that's going to be it on this video. There is some other stuff I want to show you. I did do some things with this dash here, and you know, as a matter of fact, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and show you. I'm not gonna BS you guys and give you the runaround here and try to make 20 different videos, because I've already got something done, and it would just be stupid for me to try to put up another video later. So I'm gonna show you guys. You know, we talked about putting the new dash in this car. This is not the SS dash, and I know it's hard to see in here, guys. So hold on a second. Let me try to do this. Since I don't have light inside, really. I got so much stuff everywhere. This is not fun. Not fun at all. All right. We're gonna try to put some light inside the car. The trunk, the light that I had in there. So maybe that'll work a little bit. Give me some kind of light in here. So, yeah, I took my cowboy hat off, man. It's not much room in here. Talked about putting a dash in this car, and at one point in time, I misquoted the price of the Holley 12.5 inch dash, or 12.3 inch dash. As a matter of fact, it's $2,300. For some reason I thought it was like $1,200. It's actually the 700, or the 7 inch dash is like $1,200. But after I had said something like that about it, and it wasn't but a couple weeks later, my buddy got a hold of me and was like, "Hey, what are you doing with that, your dash and this and that?" And I told him, you know, I was thinking about putting the SS dash in here, but then I got to go with Dakota digital gauges and all this other stuff. And he told me, he was like, "Man, I got a new 12 inch dash. Why don't you buy me a 7 inch dash, and I'll trade you, because the 12 inch dash wasn't going to fit his build. He'd had to cut his dash up too much." I couldn't pass up on that deal, because like I said, the 12 inch dash is $2,300 and the 7 inch dash is $1,200. So I got the big boy dash for $1,200. That was a heck of a steal. And that being said, of course, it's in a Chevelle, and they have a dash set up where you can buy it from Holley, and it, in my opinion, it's ugly as crap, but it's only made for the 7 inch dash. You could probably cut it for the 12, but I just don't like the way it even looks. And to be 100% honest with you, I've already got this one in here, and I love the way this looks. And I'm thinking that this is something that I'm going to start fabricating for people. If this is something that you guys are interested in, I would love for you guys to let me know. Just drop a comment down below. Hey, I got a Chevelle. I was thinking of the same thing. Make one of those for me. I'm going to tell you right now, this is not going to be cheap because it is labor intensive in a way, especially if I got to pull this back out and start making templates off of this. I kind of would have to because I already threw my templates away, mainly because they were cardboard. But I now have it made out of stainless steel. It's mounted in here, it's solid. I'll show you with my dash pad on, and then I'll take my dash pad off and show you how I got it in here. So without further ado, guys, I'm going to flip it around and let you see it being booted up and everything. Alright guys, so there it is. There's my setup. Would really love to have better lighting in here. I'm going to get some better light. Give me just a few moments. We'll see actually what it looks like if I get better lighting once I flip it on. This is just hanging here. I've redone all this to make it to where it's much smoother. This piece right here is also stainless steel. I have quite a bit of this real nice polished stainless I got from my uncle. He had passed away some time ago, and he used to use this stainless in his dashboards. He'd build it for Studebakers and 57s and stuff like that. So anyways, sorry guys, I'm rambling. Let's get this sucker fired up. Uh-oh. Well, that was a bust. Oh, duh. I ain't got my battery hooked up. Hold on a second. Alright, back for a second time, guys, and we're going to try this again. I do have a little bit more light in here now, but to be 100% honest with you, it's actually a heat lamp over my shoulder, and it's just going to get even more hot. So I'm going to try to make this as quick as I possibly can. I do not have my battery hooked up at the moment. What I did was actually just use my jumper box and hooked it straight to the battery. So hopefully I don't screw something up. Oh, actually, it's already late, guys. I need to get this thing turned on. We're going to turn it on 12 volts at 20 amps. That way we're not pulling too much power or really screwing anything up. So there we go. I'm not even going to turn the computer itself on. We're just going to turn the dash on. I got them on separate switches to where it'll turn on the way it does. And this is what it looks like, guys. Now you just tap it and you can switch to any screen you'd like. You can customize each and every one of these screens in any which way you'd like. Excuse me. Kind of like this one. Really like that one because it actually matches the car, but I don't have my speed up here. And you can customize this, like I said, so I can change that to where I can have my speed, but I think I'm going to probably run with that one for the most part. Now, like I said, I'm not going to give you guys a tutorial on this and how to use this. And the reason it's flapping like that, you see with the movement of my hand, that's because of this light back here behind me. This thing is sensitive to light, guys. It darkens and dims. It has the sensor over here somewhere, probably up here in the corner, but that sensor, it tells it when it's bright or not so bright, so it can darken up, self-adjusting, whatever. And yeah, that's how that works. Anyways, I'll pull this dash pad out real quick. I'll try to do it one-handed without breaking it. Oh yeah, fun stuff. There we go. And with this dash pad, granted, I need to clean this, and I should probably polish it up a little bit more because it is a little funky looking now. But I don't know how good you guys can see up here, but so this is the piece I made. I got it up in here, and what I've done was just took nice stainless, got it bent up this way, 45 here. Actually, this is more than a 90. I don't remember at what angle exactly, but yeah, it's bent. It's bent for sure. This piece right here is actually a cap, and same on this side, it's another cap. So I got 2 button head screws here, 2 here, 1 at the bottom. Same on this side, 2 here, 2 here, 1 at the bottom. And this steel, or this stainless, runs down this way. I mean, that's all stainless, guys. So this dash, stainless at the top. I mean, this sucker ain't going nowhere. I pulled the whole dash out, moving that sucker around. I mean, it's in there, it's sturdy. Also got my computer mounted up here. I never showed you guys, but I drilled through this, and I mean, it's tight. But yeah, the computer's mounted right here behind this, and then I have a standoff back here up under the dash, shoots that way, and actually holds the bottom part of it to where, I mean, it's sturdy. That computer ain't going nowhere, and that ain't going nowhere. The reason I did that and got it away from out of the glove box area, because I did have it, if you remember, on the top of the glove box, is because once I put the harness in the car, it actually wasn't going to reach all the way over here. So I moved it over here, got it out of the way, and it actually made me a lot more comfortable because it got away from my MSD box and my coil up there. So we got that out of the way. Everything up there is mounted up. I'm almost done with the wiring in here. Start getting this interior, or well, depending on what I'm going to do. I kind of stopped. Let me get this turned back off. I kind of stopped what I was doing here in the dash and in the interior because, like I said, I was ready to mount the fuel cell. So yeah, I was ready to mount the fuel cell and had the problem with the trunk. Once I got to that point where I knew the trunk needed to be replaced, I figured might as well go ahead and keep moving forward and go to the dash, or go to the floors up here. And yeah, if I go that far, then we're gonna box the frame and put the roll cage and all that stuff. So yeah, it just makes sense to me. There's no point in having the kind of power that I'm planning on getting out of this and not be 100% as safe as we could possibly be. So at the end of the day, racing, owning cars like this, it's all about safety. And if you're not, it's just kind of ignorant. So I'm gonna try to figure out where I'm going next with this before I really come out with any more content. It's not going to be long, so please bear with me. And honestly, where I'm going with all the getting the frame braced up, that's inevitable. That's happening. I'm going to stiffen the chassis on this car 100% for sure, which leads me to why I got all this metal over here. Of course, you guys know I drive a semi, do flatbed work, and I deliver to these steel places all the time, so I'm able to get cut off pieces like this that's just not going to be utilized, and I'll just pay them scrap prices for this stuff. So what I'm actually thinking about doing with some of these pipes is, and these are probably a little too big, but making little pedestals, standoffs that come off the frame. And like I said, these are probably too big. I got smaller ones back here, but make little pedestals that come off the frame up through the floor. We're going to pull the floor out, put the frame together in here. I'm going to get that frame from Jegs probably. It's like with shipping and everything, it's like $500. And I'm going to put it together inside the car with no floor in it, where I can drop it down to the ground and weld all my welds and paint the frame with it on the floor but in the car same time, if that makes any sense. And when I get all the tops and everything done and all the welds done, pick it up, put it in place, slide the floor in under it, and then set it on the pedestals that we make that are going to come through the floor pans, if that makes sense. And if not, then you have to stick around and see exactly what I'm talking about. But for the most part, guys, that's where we're at on this build. You guys let me know if that dash kit that I made there, if that's something that you guys are interested in. If you got a 70, 71 Chevelle, I believe it'll fit a 70. I know it'll fit a 72. I know it ain't gonna fit no 68 or 69. So 70, 71, 72 has this dash. And if you guys are interested in something like that, guys, I can make that for you. I ain't quite put a price tag on it just yet because I don't believe I'm gonna pull that out and make it if only one person wants it. So if we can come up with, let's say, 15, 20 people that want something like that, I'd gladly pull that back out and make 15 or 20 of them. Even if you just 15, 20 people comment and say, hey, I would be interested in getting something like that, to me that's worth it enough, because I mean that shows me that there's enough interest in it that I could potentially do something with that. So anyways, guys, we're gonna get to the trunk, the floor, the rails, frame rails up here. We're gonna get to all this, caging it, and just doing some stuff to have some serious fun. Still not 100% sure the route we're gonna take with this build, but we're gonna figure it out as time comes along. Honestly, it's probably just gonna end up being a drag car and a daily cruiser. I mean, not a full-blown 7-second quarter-mile car, but a nice street drag, you know, something just to have some fun in and go to car shows, haul the family around. And you know, I want to build a full drag car, then we'll maybe do that later. Got a couple other YouTubers that I met up with at LS Fest, and they want to collaborate. I'm actually looking really forward to that because maybe they can help me out, give me some insight on how to make some better content, and not necessarily saying help me with this, but help me on a build that would interest you guys probably a little bit more if we're going to take this channel towards the drag racing side of things in a way. So also, would like to get into drifting, things of that nature eventually, but right at the moment, I just take one thing at a time. So guys, that's where we're at. If you would do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff, and we'll get back to some fun stuff like this. We're going to get back to some content on the trucks, and we're just going to hit up car shows, some drag races periodically, do some more family fun stuff, and enjoy life, guys. Do me a big favor, drop that comment at least if you won't like and subscribe and share or whatever. At least put a comment and tell me something. You like it, you dislike it, whatever. Other than that, guys, thank you for your time. I'll see you on the next one. God bless you.